Hello team and welcome back to another Line War cast. This is your map today from the 2023 T2 tournament between Someone Said That My Nickname Sucks in blue and Easy in red. There are 6 different maps that can be played in the group stage is my understanding, and this is one of them. They've kind of been picked based on how balanced they are. So a bunch of different starting locations that players can go for, and this is where the two in this game have decided: Nickname in a central location and Easy to the top right. Going for 5 barracks immediately. I love it. Barracks are very fun. And infantry, very useful. They got that boost and that buff in the latest patch. A dock for Easy, very likely going to be a transport boat that's built out of this dock to get units across to this part of the map. And Nickname, without seeing that Easy is here, builds an airport and a barracks, and it's building a transport plane, commando out of the barracks, so probably going to be commando drops. With how many barracks there are here, I almost wonder if there's ever a situation where Nickname would stop building this transport plane and just start building a helicopter for defense. I guess you could also go for a striker or something, although that doesn't seem as popular lately. But Nickname elects to just dig in at the forest, continue building this commando, which is pretty important to actually be able to expand on the map. So it's it'd be a big deal if Nickname decided not to do a commando drop here. And Easy's going to try to go around the defensive line. Of course, defensive lines, those buffs that they get are entirely negated if the units are 120 degrees behind the entrenchment. It is a transport boat from Easy. Line War music going crazy right now, so it must be intense. 320 income for blue and 320 for red. So now it's just a decision that you get to make as the viewer. Who do you think has a better build in this situation? 5 barracks with a transport boat? Or just one single barracks in an airport? I'm lying. Okay, so I was wondering, but there's got to be more stuff for Nickname, and it is back in the bottom. There's a SAM being built, an artillery piece already created, and then 2 more barracks. And this is Easy's vision. There's enough infantry around this forest that all the buildings, even though they have that stealth bonus by being in the forest, they are all exposed. And Nickname's going to move these infantry from the rightmost entrenchment back to defend. I don't suppose, my guess is that Easy is not going to be able to destroy this airport. If every single infantry jumped on it right now, maybe. I'm very slowly changing my opinion. I think Easy's going to destroy this airport. Transport plane takes off and it's going to go to the right-hand side. So Nickname will be able to land 2 commandos there. There's more transport boats on the way for Easy out of the dock. Airport is probably at like 40% now. And you can see it kind of, the shape of it as a rectangle is kind of being destroyed. It looks horrible. Flames coming out of the control tower or whatever we want to call that. Yeah, I think it would be a mistake if Easy lets this airport live, though. Just a weird moment. Like, clearly Red had enough to actually destroy it. And Easy probably still will with these 3 infantry. It'll be very close. There is going to be another commando that pops out of this barracks soon, but maybe these 3 red infantry are going to attack the barracks instead of the airport. 3rd transport boat on the way for red. All 5 barracks now are heading towards Nickname's airport. Certainly, this next wave of infantry is going to be able to destroy it. And now here comes Nickname's real army. With factory units behind it, 2 SAMs and 4 artillery pieces are moving. Easy's landed on this part of the land pretty much at the exact same time that Nickname lands on the right. And we might see a barracks from Nickname on the right-hand side. 350 eco for Easy, 390 for Nickname. But this will be a big loss. The airport will go down. Nickname has already stopped building planes out of it. And like, my apologies to both players, because my first read was that the airport wouldn't go down for whatever reason. Clearly it would have, and I think it was so obvious to Easy that it was going to go down anyway that this is why these infantry were sent down here. To get more of a scout and like figure out where is Nickname's stuff, because it clearly wasn't just one airport and a barracks. 4 artillery pieces is enough for blue because there is enough blue infantry to body block, and I don't think that these 4 infantry for red are going to get close enough to actually be able to spot it. It becomes relatively obvious that the production must be in here because of those artillery pieces that were pushing forward. And I super wish we watched whatever happened to this transport plane. Its tailpiece just like wiggling around. It must have been right as it landed that the airport exploded. Oh, that's such a miss on my part. I bet that looks super cool. But here's your reset. Easy 5 barracks, building a refinery now to keep this boat going and dropping more infantry at the bottom of this inlet or whatever the heck this would be called. And Nickname with 2 factories, 2 barracks, and 2 more barracks on the right-hand side. Income-wise, 390 for Easy, 430 for Nickname. It gets very quiet when there's no fighting. Usually I'm used to hearing artillery pieces and infantry fighting and like, I need a medic, like the coolest line war phrase of all time. When both players just reset, it's eerie. Easy still doesn't have a factory, which is something to note. Still just powering on these barracks. Both players are making about the same amount of money per minute. 410 for Easy, 430 total economy for Nickname. And Easy's got a very, I think this is an extremely important barracks on the left-hand side. Now that Nickname doesn't have an airport or any way to get to this barracks, like a transport boat to land units across, this barracks is just going to be able to produce so much infantry that's going to flood to the left side of the map for Easy to make a lot of money. Really, the only thing that Easy kind of needs to worry about is the fact that they're playing Nickname, for one thing, but then 2, whatever happens on this right-hand side. Because this could get a little bit sketchy if blue were able to take the entire right and then be able to pressure this main starting position for Easy. Easy's doing a great thing on the bottom right here, kind of following all of these infantry, so these red infantry are going to cap the blue territories pretty much right as the blue infantry cap them. For blue, what a stupid sentence, but you get what I mean. Like all those economic gains that Nickname's making on the bottom right are just immediately negated. This is a lot of artillery for blue, not a ton of infantry to act as a meat shield. So if red were to group up all their little red skittles and then fight all the blue skittles, they should be able to overwhelm the infantry or at least just move command on top of the artillery, and I think red could win this fight. The barracks on the left-hand side is now created and starting to build infantry. Infantry do get that buff when they're fighting in forests. That is something important to note. I believe it's a firepower and an armor bonus of 20%. Might be 10%, but I think it's 20%. And both players showing that entrenchments indeed did get a buff in the latest patch. I like this maneuvering. Easy's always, it seems like in this game, looking to get around and behind the defensive lines, which is very smart. We now have kind of 3 main fights, one on the left-hand side, one in the central part of the map here, and then to the right-hand side, which we'll take a look at in a second. And this is a great play from all of these red infantry to get on top of these artillery pieces. Only now are the blue artillery deploying, which gave the red infantry more time to get on top of them. And there should be at least 2 more artillery pieces for blue that goes down. There goes 1. These are move-commanded infantry, so they aren't stopping to attack any one artillery piece. They are just trying to get to the end of this line and only shooting at the things that are directly in front of them, in between them and where they want to go. But I think this is a very good play from Red when it comes down to it. Barracks units are easier to replace than factory units in some ways. We saw that Easy has another barracks on the left-hand side. Nickname is going to start creating a huge problem for Easy on the right, and Easy, great reaction time to start sending infantry over there. But that will, of course, drop reinforcements for Easy to use in the center fight. Now that all the artillery are deployed and firing, it becomes harder for Red to be able to do much. And I love this third barracks for Easy on the left-hand side. Nickname also has a barracks on the left. Both players probably recognizing that there is a lot of economy over here. And top down, this is what you're looking at. 500 income for Blue, 550 for Red. Easy is in the lead. Vegas betting odds for this game probably like pretty heavily in favor of Nickname. Easy is very good at the game as well. That's not to take away from Easy's skill, and as we see, Easy is so far ahead in this game. But I find that the longer the game goes, the stronger Nickname gets in particular. Another barracks for Nickname on the left-hand side. Nickname can play a scrappy game. Always seem to stay alive with just a handful of commandos. Missile boats from Easy. I am 90% sure that's a missile boat. I know that one of the things people bring up is that it's very difficult to see what sort of unit is being built, like in factories and docks specifically. But over time, like I said, I'm very certain this is a missile boat. This is sort of a weird situation because Easy is not going to be able to destroy these 4 buildings. I'd be shocked if Red's able to take this out. These artillery pieces are now in the mountains, so that all of these infantry, as they enter this mountain range, they go so much more slowly, so the artillery gets way more shots. Easy's got good pressure on the left. Love that there's even a 4th barracks, a 4th barracks on the left-hand side for Red. That is a big deal. And good move from Easy to move the infantry out of this mountain range. I mean, the benefit for Blue to put their artillery in this mountain range is that the Red infantry would be so much slower. The con, of course, for Blue is that it would take them longer to get back here to defend if they need to. I don't think they will. Dock from Nickname in this right side. Maybe an intention to get this trade route up. This will likely even be transport boats, because there are 2 barracks and some transport boats could land here close to Red's base and do a lot of damage. 600 income even for Red and 560 for Blue. Nickname still doesn't have a dock, or sorry, a refinery. And top down, Nickname's only refineries to take are in the bottom right here. Easy stopped capping down to the bottom right, which is potentially a big deal. Because as mentioned, that is really the only place that Nickname's going to be able to build refineries. Blue's moving the army to the left-hand side probably will end up pushing these 3 barracks. And I suppose Nickname's just looking at this position, maybe with some entrenchments, to be enough to stop all this Red infantry. There's a cruiser now on the way for Easy, which can help out by destroying units that are too close to the coast. Would be able to like defend partly these 2 barracks potentially. There's a trade route in the top left. The longer this game goes, the more that will probably come into play. And oh, interesting. Okay, so Nickname's going to go across this way. and then probably push up from the bottom right. Master strategist that nickname is. That was not the play that I was expecting. A 5th barracks from Easy. These barracks are all pretty close to this northern coast. I wonder if a potential play is for the boats to go around the north. I'm not sure if they can get through here. I'm not even sure. Yeah, maybe they can get through here. Because if there could be boats that are close to these buildings, it becomes even more difficult for Blue to be able to destroy them. Nickname's vision here doesn't see any of the barracks, but Blue probably has a decent idea that Red has something over there, just because of how many infantry are just showing up. And for Easy, they know that Nickname has capped this bottom right. Yeah, okay, never mind. I had to press F again. I'm like, how on earth does Easy see that these infantry are going across? Very interesting game. 680 income for Red, 590 for Blue. But Blue's got a very decent defensive position in the center of the map. Is like slowly mounting a defense on the left-hand side. Might lose a barracks before they can turn that around. And then on the right-hand side, clearly it's very solid for Blue. Building a missile boat. And we just heard a barracks go down somewhere. It's probably on the left-hand side. Yes, it is. Far left. I suppose for Easy right now, there's an opportunity to group up a bunch of infantry and then jump on this army. But it's tough because at the same time, Red would want to push to the left-hand side since they can see that Nickname's already over here and has a bunch of economy for it. And clearly Blue is going to win this fight in the bottom right. Easy's sending some units down, but there are 2 barracks here for Blue that are able to reinforce this very easily. Transport boats, I mean, this is the shortest transit distance that you could possibly ask for. And top down, Red looks to have maybe a little bit more territory. But both players using the entire map in this one. 760 for Red, 640 for Blue. It would actually be a cool move if Easy knew somehow that there was no more units over here to just push this way. But even then, I guess Nickname would have enough time to see it and then just divert those 2 barracks to defend. So Nickname does lose both the barracks in the bottom left. I'm just assuming this one is also going to fall. There's no barracks in the total bottom of the map quite yet. This is like enough infantry that if they were all here magically, they probably could take on all of these artillery pieces. Yeah, I think this is actually the better move for Easy to fall back. Kind of interesting though. I almost wonder if Red should just jump that or try to. These 5 barracks are so clutch for Easy. Doing so much. Okay, the answer is that at least the boats can get around here. Love this drop from Easy on the top left of the map. And an airport now for Red. So they won't be able to use the planes on the right-hand side. Nickname might only build 2 boats, but there we go. A 3rd missile boat. So this will be very safe from planes. If you're Nickname and looking at this and you're assuming that you're going to be able to push up from the bottom right and then hopefully just take this fight in the center, and then all of this infantry will catch up, could be a very strong push from Blue then through the center. And we'll see if this airport ends up being too close to the action. Left-hand side a little bit more contested. Easy puts down 2 barracks in the top left. So outnumbering Blue's barracks here. At the moment, losing a bunch of infantry. Certainly if these red infantry keep going. And 3 missile boats on a cruiser is great for red, but unfortunately there's no planes for blue yet. I wonder at what points Easy would want to stop building boats, because it's not like I think building boats is a bad play here or anything, but I wonder how much it is. Like a full dot of missile boats, that'd be great to shut down any planes that Nickname could build here to send off to the left-hand side. We are about to see a very strong push from blue through the center. Easy's in fact going to start backing up. I have no idea how one commando is just parked out right here for Nickname, which actually kind of gives pretty cool vision. Easy can't see that commando. So although those commandos got that stealth nerf in the latest patch, clearly it is useful still in certain situations. $830 income for red and $830 for blue. $820 now, whatever. It's pretty much the exact same. This is very close. Big question for me now is how well red's going to be able to do in the center. With all of these blue units converging, this is quite a larger army for blue than it is for red, and there's no defensive lines as of yet for Easy. At the same time, red's going to collapse to the center from the left-hand side, which I do like. Top down, it's probably more important to take this back than it is to push into this bottom here. And Easy also has some infantry on the far left. Helicopters for red. First one is built. There's still only one refinery for Easy, so these are a lot of boats. The boats will have to stay put when the helicopters start launching. And strikers from Nickname's airport on the right-hand side. I don't think Nickname sees this refinery, but it would be within range of this airport. Or Nickname could just elect to click on some of these barracks, or just on this airport from Easy. Easy doesn't know this airport exists yet for Nickname. And I was just assuming that Nickname was just going to push immediately, but showing some restraint and just digging in. Or rather just, you know, standing outside range here. Nickname definitely can see that there are helicopters on the airport. There's really only 2 SAMs for Nickname, and Nickname's about to lose one of them. And Nickname has stopped building factory units. Which makes me think that Nickname is trying to save up for something. Okay, so it is going to be a trade route on the right-hand side. And now we see these artillery pieces start getting made again. Geography is such a big deal. Nickname was right. This is a really good game. I was trolling Nickname because it's, spoilers, kind of long. But this is a really good game. It's very interesting, like, the positioning both players are taking right now. This mountain range, these red infantry aren't going to be able to get to the barracks and the factories super quickly, but there's a lot of infantry. They should be able to just overwhelm that. Nickname is about to take a very advantageous fight in the center. The only thing that blue is missing here is SAMs to deal with the 2 and soon to be 3 helicopters. Easy's got a good defensive line, but Nickname is landing units on the right-hand side. There's 2 barracks full, and there's 1 striker. Very interested to see what Nickname's going to do with these strikers. Probably launch them once there's 3, maybe 4. If Nickname's being super patient, blue will probably wait until there's 5 strikers. Since 5 strikers is the magic number for you can destroy a building in one pass. Such an interesting defensive line for Easy here, I like it. But Blue's going to lose all of this. In the top left, this is the next thing that really matters. Nickname really only has this one barracks. 2 barracks from Easy makes that so that Red has way more units than Blue can muster. Bottom right is more in Nickname's favor, though, with a trade route on the way. And here comes this landing. Two transport boats full of infantry that are going to head right towards that refinery. Big win for Red. And also, I mean, I take it back. I thought that Easy was going to be in a lot of trouble here. But has defended this position. Now has a entrenchment line on the right-hand side. That'll be tough to get through. Nickname's really dropping at the one location that Easy doesn't have an answer for. And we'll start ripping towards this refinery. We'll see if the Red helicopters get sent up here to defend. Because that is a possibility. And we hear a dock from Nickname. Is it on the... Oh, sorry, that's a port, pardon me. Port from Nickname. 3 strikers now done. 4th one is on the way. And top down. At 31 minutes into the game, a kind of interesting split map. I think this is enough infantry for Blue that if they just click on this building, which they have, with this target command, which looks so good graphically also, shouts out, I think in Fenzi, I assume in Fenzi, I'm not sure, but all of these infantry are going to be able to destroy this refinery no matter how quick these Red infantry were to get here. Nickname, or Easy, is not even going to try to defend it necessarily. And in some ways, it won't really matter if these 3 strikers destroy this airport anyway. I suppose they are helicopters after all, so the helicopters can just get off the airport and land on a territory that you can control. And so sniping this gas means that these 2 can't get off the airport before this thing explodes. Any planes that are on an airport when the airport is destroyed are also destroyed. Infantry will probably get one of these strikers, though. If this one were to come back around again... Yeah, and it forces the 2 strikers back. The bigger problem for Red is that they're not going to be able to rebuild that refinery super easily. There's 4 barracks now in the top left for Easy. And the beep beep we hear is for Nickname running low on energy after haste moving these strikers. Trying to destroy this airport. And the noise we just heard is the 2nd port for Nickname being built on the right-hand side. So Blue has a trade route that is incoming. How long is this going to take, Striker? Let's go. I think it will destroy it on this pass if it has a rocket. Okay. Or if it doesn't have a rocket. 2 dead helicopters and a dead airport for Red. Easy is rebuilding a refinery at the top of the screen. 1082 income for Blue. 1200 for Easy. Who, once they destroy this defensive line and kind of push through here, might even be able to turn off a lot of these barracks in the top left. And I love this. This defensive line that was behind Blue, there's no units around now, so Easy's going to take this fight. And as mentioned, since they're attacking from behind the entrenchment, they should be able to actually do a lot of damage to these Blue units, who won't receive that defensive buff. Nickname doing a great job to pressure Easy in the top right. These 5 strikers are still a huge threat. They would be able to click on any of these barracks and just destroy them. Nickname's going to land here, and then I guess we're going to get into a sort of base trading situation where Easy's going to try to push on the left-hand side, and Nickname's going to take the entire right-hand side. No more boats from Easy out of this dock, which probably makes a lot of sense, especially since energy is now a huge issue for Red, who builds more barracks on the left-hand side. One of the best things about barracks is they can't build energy-consuming units, so it doesn't really matter if you have refineries or not. Infantry are powered by their hatred, and determination. These barracks are in a little bit of trouble. Just over time, because Nickname has 2 more barracks that are just... Their only job here for Blue is going to be keep landing in weird spots and distracting Easy. We might see Blue build an airstrip to get more strikers because this airport is not building any more planes since it is full. But instead, Nickname's going to start ecoing town, factory, 2 barracks in the bottom. There's just fights all over the place here. Props to both players. This is a very fast-paced match. These 2 blue infantries are just going for it. They're trying to destroy this barracks. They're not going to be able to. And the 3rd friend that shows up at the wrong place, wrong time is also not going to be able to. And like really all game long we've seen Easy do this thing where move commanding infantry kind of like through the weakest point of the entrenchment. That seems to be a very smart play. And then get behind the entrenchment so that, you know, those blue units don't get any of those bonuses. The line war music is playing, so something's got to be going on. I guess it's just all over the map. Trade route is now done, so the merchant ships are being created. And tanks, interestingly enough, for Nickname, who only has 1 refinery. But I suppose Nickname is just going to make a bet that they're going to have enough energy by the time they want to use those tanks. Blue has built all this industry on the right-hand side. And I suppose Easy is actually pretty light on building eco buildings. But they have a lot of infantry, which is good. 1,200 income for Nickname. 1,270 for Easy. Both players sitting on a decent amount of money. I don't say that as a diss because if Easy and Nickname only have like 1,200 in the bank or whatever, I would have 3K. Just like any RTS, it's hard to remember to spend your money when a lot is going on in the game. Here's these first 2 merchant ships. They are the coolest unit in Line War. And it feels to me that now that this has fallen, that this game is... Momentum is in Nickname's favor. But, I mean, Easy's winning pretty hard on the left-hand side. These 5 barracks are still producing. And it's almost time, I think, for Easy to be able to break this position. Because there still are 4 barracks here. There's even some transport boats that could be used to get a better angle on these entrenchments, but that, of course, would cost a lot of micro. Really shows you how much a balance patch will change the meta. This is a lot of entrenchments that we're seeing in different spots. Here's what I gotta get better at. Do these red infantry just win this fight? There is a tank that's part of this. Some of these red infantry are pretty lit. Now there's 2 tanks, I suppose. I think that these infantry might get 1 building and that's it. That's my guess. Because I'm paying attention to those transport boats that we see on the right of the screen that are starting to land the units. The little miniature figures of the infantry that get twice as big when they hit land. So they do get the barracks, they did attack that. I mean, if the tanks don't get involved, then maybe the infantry would be able to get more buildings. Here come the strikers, though, to defend this. If we take a peek on the left-hand side, Nickname's still in a very fierce fight here, but now has 3 entrenchments on all the different sides. Easy has cleared out this, which is a huge deal, because that will now allow Easy to actually push through this part of the map, and like I said, potentially turn off some of these barracks and eco a lot. Okay, so this is really good from Red to build all those farms and towns in the top left. Alright, so pretty good run by, I think. From Easy, getting the barracks and the town. This might prompt Nickname to push towards the center. And it seems to. 1330 income for red. 1193 for blue. Who has 2 sneaky barracks in the mountain range. But Easy can definitely see these. With how many infantry there is for red here. Nickname has stopped building boats. I said milding. Making and building boats out of this dock and building a city on the far right. Which would, I think, get Nickname back to pretty close economy with Easy, who still has a lead. I think this is such a big deal in the top left for Easy, though. Clearing out this, because now the entire top left is going to just be red. And it's not like there's a lot of units for blue to be able to counter push, especially because of all these barracks on the left-hand side for Easy. For context, Nickname submitted this replay, but I know Nickname is not like too proud to submit a intense replay where they lost, so I have no idea who's going to win this. I think this is really close. Certainly Blue's, again, for the second time this game, in trouble in this position. We can see the strikers in the north. One more goes down to those missile boats, but they are able to destroy one of those red barracks. Right now this is still a losing fight for red, but it's pinning all these blue units here, so they can't really start expanding. Easy now has that one refinery on the left and building more industry. Yeah, I think this feels like Easy is in a pretty good position. I think it's really just how cleanly Easy can destroy this spot on the left-hand side now. If they can group up all these red infantry and then make a good push. Because there's a lot of economy on the top left that red is already building. This fight in the center definitely, you know, worked for red. There's enough red infantry that they should be able to cut off these 2 barracks. And it's going to leave Nickname just on the bottom right. Missile boats trying to get as close as they possibly can to these strikers. And like one of the strikers might go down. I believe the logic is still that the SAMs and missile boats will target the weakest as long as they can. 1600 income for Easy. 1243 for Nickname. I don't... Something's up. One sec. Okay, well hopefully this is better. Because I heard buzzing on the audio interface. But you know what, we're 45 minutes through this thing, and funny enough, one of the last games that Nickname submitted to me and said I should watch was also a relatively long game, and I did watch it. And then after I finished the replay, I realized that my audio interface was all messed up, so I didn't catch anything. And I made a game time decision and said I'm not casting that again. So Nickname, I'm sorry. I definitely did watch one of the games and then didn't do anything with it. Hopefully this one's still fine. Nickname's got a bunch of tanks. This is the push. There is an airstrip down to the bottom. And Nickname's going to start rebuilding a factory here besides this town. Still looking very good for Easy, who is starting to push through this location. It's going to be a very tough fight for red because of all these blue boats. they're able to work on these red infantry as they go through this choke. And this kind of prompts Nickname to start building cruisers again out of this bottom right dock. City now in the top left for Easy, who is starting to work on this trade route. And I think Easy's going to win this game. There's not now this big blob of red units from this location. They're finally here. They could probably elect to just push into this forest. Easy can see how many units there are. There's really not that many in this defensive position, but Easy instead is deciding to push down to the bottom, which is also, I think, a good play. Red is clicking on this airstrip. If they're able to destroy it, that's going to be 4 dead strikers. And this is how many red infantry were able to get by this choke. So not that many, but just enough that the airport might be able to get destroyed. Tanks got a big nerf in the last patch, but they're not useless. They're still going to trade very well against these red infantry. As we can see, good combined arms from blue, just enough artillery pieces to also shell these red infantry. So Nickname's going to be left with an army that can actually potentially push after this. Now where they're going to push is a different question. Pushing through the center is going to be really difficult because you're going to run up against all these red barracks. Maybe a chance for Nickname to just like push up north. And thankfully for blue, not losing that airport or that farm. And income-wise, 1896 for red, 1300 for blue. And Easy all game long, going around the entrenchments. And red does it again. Not even electing to take this fight anymore. Just gonna destroy these farms, the factory, the town, and start capping the bottom. And if need be, send more units to the bottom right. Nickname we hear puts down a lot more buildings, probably on the right hand side. Factory, 2 barracks, and another farm is on the way. Two helicopters actually got a lot of value for Easy. Which is kind of nice, and it might force Nickname to try to build some amount of SAMs to deal with the helicopters, which is obviously frustrating if you're blue. You would like to just build artillery pieces and tanks for that fighting power. This is a very close to the front lines airstrip, but Nickname's obviously going to be able to defend it with 5 tanks. Easy has an airport in the center. Anyone's guess what could be built out of that red airport. I almost feel like it could be bombers. Easy's also got a rocket on the left-hand side to bust this position, really, and then just as a, you know, defensive insurance against at any point in the game if Nickname wants to push back. With all these mountains and forests here, the units would move super slowly through this, which is a great opportunity to use that rocket. But we did see that Easy was up about 500 on the eco. That won't get any better for Nickname because there's a second city on the way for Easy. Those ragdolls just look so good. When the planes explode, absolutely love it. Nickname's gonna push. Like I kind of said like a few minutes ago, I just thought maybe it would happen quicker. Nickname might be able to take the top right, and we'll just get a split map situation. The last holdout on the left-hand side is here, which it will be able to live until this rocket shows up. And Easy definitely has enough money to build that rocket. And it's going to be a very large amount of red infantry that's going to get freed up once they're able to destroy this bottom right location. And then by that point, this left side has probably also been destroyed, and then Easy can focus on attacking the heart of Nickname's new base, potentially even putting down a dock to build transport boats. We'll see what the plan is. This city is, I actually believe, in range of the strikers. Maybe not actually, maybe not quite. But this is Nickname's vision, so doesn't even know that this city is up here, doesn't know about anything on this peninsula, probably just assumes that there's some amount of stuff. And Easy's going to build a second dock, and I like that. And Nickname is going to build a submarine pen, which is going to be very difficult to see. There's that stealth characteristic of the sub pen, so even if there's all these infantry here, 2 missile boats, this is still not visible to red. It's something I gotta do more when I'm playing, is build more sub pens. They're a great comeback mechanism. They're great if your opponent has some group of boats that you need to deal with. If you can build up a few subs and then surprise attack, can be a good way to turn the tides in a body of water that you want to get control of. Because if there's no missile boats here, these strikers for Nickname would be able to do a lot more. Rocket is now 1/3 of the way done. Easy's starting to just push into the defensive line, probably just to buy some time. Because Nickname is starting to make a push, it looks like. Maybe sensing that there would be a rocket at some point here. Clearly the rocket's not actually in vision yet. And it is bombers out of the central airport. Unfortunately for Nickname, Easy now sees that this sub pen is here, and it will get destroyed. The boats are all beelining down here to try to destroy it before the first sub is out. 2 more bombers on the way. Bombers are going to be devastating in this situation against Nickname, because I believe that Easy's airports can actually reach this town. Bombers, of course, cannot target individual buildings, but if they reach it, it's going to be in a lot of trouble. 2,200 income for Easy, 1,290 for Nickname, who is holding on. If Nickname can cap all of this on the top right super quickly and then somehow make a big fight happen here and this rocket does nothing, even then it'd be a tough situation to get back from. This is, I believe, 2 more sub pens. Yeah, in the north from Nickname. Okay, well, so far good defense from Blue. This town is not going to go down, especially now that there's going to be another striker here that is trying to defend. Nickname very, very clearly is just going to be able to take the top. Easy does not see these sub pens, but with the Spidey-like senses, is going to send some missile boats up here. I actually don't know if that missile boat's going to be close enough. If it was a destroyer, then it would be able to detect it. But because it's a missile boat, I'm not sure if Red is actually going to be able to see that. Two full cities are done for Red. We already saw that it's quite the income advantage for Easy. Alright, so this is Red's vision. I don't get it. Who's Okay, so this is maybe nicknames dot? I don't know. Anyway, I guess that is close enough. There you go. A missile boat and some infantry being this close to the subpen are able to see it. And I was just about to say it'd be crazy if the second subpen wasn't detected, but it is, unfortunately, for nickname. And this is just so tough. The rocket is going to make it even more difficult. Anytime now, it is going to launch here to take out this entire position, and then all these red infantry are going to be able to attack this blue defensive line from behind. And then red will be able to begin in earnest pushing through the center again. Because none of these barracks need to go towards this stronghold of blue. Everything but one factory is destroyed. The bomber count is very important here. It is continuing to climb. Easy will have to build another refinery at some point to keep more bombers going. And now if Nickname can cap the right-hand side, it's just tough because there's two cities for Easy. Easy has such an eco advantage. And also, you know, also has $4,500. So it could just put down a gazillion barracks or factories and just pay for the win. And I say that to set the stage for a nickname comeback here, to just show just how impressive that would be, because I don't think it could be done. This is just way too much money for Easy. Easy's not going to throw this. Has another rocket on the way, building a depot to start collecting some of this energy, and it is close enough to connect to the other refinery as well. Okay, so Nickname has a rocket in the center of the map. So the coverage that this thing is going to have is pretty much here, probably probably about here is where that rocket, this blue rocket on this building launch pad, where it could go. Nickname is not going to give up with the subs. Actually gets one of the subs built. So that might be just in perfect time to be able to start intercepting merchant ships that Easy is going to build and counteract that trade route. At least partly. I mean, Easy will still get the income bonus from the town and the port. One submarine against that many missile boats. Submarine is going to lose that every time. And nearly two airports full of bombers for Easy, who, as mentioned before, now gets to start this push through the center. At some point, all of these barracks are either going to get shut off or they're going to divert all the units towards the middle of the map, which sets the stage for the most impressive rocket in line war history. Yeah, so the black plumes of smoke on the bombers. Easy is low on energy. There's actually not that many refineries on this map. There's two in the top. I suppose 3 in the top and then 2 in the bottom. 4 in the top, I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the top, 2 on the bottom. Which actually does not feel like that many. And to get one of them easy, he's going to build a subpen, build a submarine up here. I don't suppose this submarine can go around this top part of the map and get into this body of water, but it is possible. We've seen that before. Here comes all these infantry. From Easy, the rocket is nearly complete. 2/3 of the way done-ish. Is the exact way to say it. And Nickname does get this subpen up. Let's see if Easy can see it. Easy can just actually see it. So the bombers are going to destroy this in a second. Rocket is on the stand for blue. And the plan from Nickname at some point was to send transfer boats across, which will probably still happen. Unfortunately for Nickname, Easy's actually going to park out some infantry down on this peninsula to stop that from happening. So SAMs aren't able to shoot their machine guns at the bomber. They're only able to use their missiles. The machine gun is technically where the SAM has more of its DPS. So this many bombers against 3 SAMs, bombers will be able to take it out. But Easy is using a lot of energy to do this because bombers actually got an energy nerf in the last patch. They take more energy to run now. So 2 full airports, decent amount. 3, another airport for Easy. Might be bombers as well. And Nickname's vision, this one sub is destroying the port. I mean, submarines give such great vision. It's such it's a great scouting unit. Because this is what Nickname actually sees. Easy does not see this rocket. And Nickname at this point has completed taking the top right. Except for this one territory. And Nickname again. Going for the sub pens, not giving up on it. But you can see how effective it is because one sub got back here and now it's stopped this trade route from going. We'll actually be able to destroy another port. Easy's going to respond to this with 2 sub pens of their own. And using subs against subs is very good because subs have good detection. So it's not like Nickname's going to be able to sneak around too long as if you have your own subs in the water. This rocket for Easy is completed. It's just there's no real reason to launch it. And so for the rest of the game, this is just going to be a defensive rocket. In the very unlikely scenario that Blue's able to push towards Easy's base here. And it is bombers out of that 3rd airport. Defensive lines are a lot better. I mean, you can see how much time they buy. And how many shots these infantry can take from the artillery pieces. Airport 2 barracks and Nickname takes this gas. But eco-wise, 1456 for Blue and 2289 for Red. The submarine for Nickname is here. Cannot see the sub pen quite yet. I mean, the coolest thing that this blue sub could do would be to kill both these red sub pens before Easy's able to build a submarine of their own. And finally, Nickname has a submarine pen again in the north. Has built 1 submarine. The second one is about to, whatever you call it, launch into the water. And Nickname nearly has a rocket. The blue rocket will get launched pretty much immediately. And realistically, I think it's going to go towards this airport. Here comes Easy. Okay, so the range of this is probably going to land about here. And destroy all these tanks and all these artillery pieces. It's not going towards the entrenchment. And actually very nice that it destroys 3 SAMs as well, which might prompt these bombers to get launched. Nickname's rocket is complete, and Nickname has that 40 energy required to launch a rocket. I was playing a ladder game the other day, or just a game rather, the other day, and I forgot that you need 40 energy now to launch a rocket. But you do, and it's going to destroy both those airports. It is not really going to matter because he's going to be able to overwhelm those defensive lines. I think that this rocket was hopefully meant to kill both the airports, but it was just like a very... like the range of it was barely just out. Or I assume that Nickname was launching that to try to destroy the airports, but also get the dock. Clearly it's important that Nickname gets naval control here. If just building submarine pens over and over again, so maybe it was actually just majorly focused towards the dock and the airports were like a just in case it happens, it would be nice. Easy's using those move commands through the entrenchments again, which seem to be the best way to try to clear entrenchments. And it's just so much red. Third city now for Easy on the left-hand side. What an absolute wild game. And apologies for the audio interface earlier. No idea what happened, but hopefully it's okay. And props to Nickname for one doing a lot of organizing for this tournament, but also submitting the replay. And also submitting a replay where Nickname doesn't win. And that's my point. Nickname's not too proud to submit replays that they don't win, and that's what makes the games all the more entertaining to watch myself, because I have no idea what's gonna happen. But yeah, the answer to how to beat Nickname is if you can build 1,000 infantry, you can probably win the game. You just need 1,000 infantry, folks. It's funny because I haven't really heard this music before. Is this like the victory music? Because my understanding is different music plays in different times. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I've been misinformed. Yeah, Easy is just winning on all fronts here. Has so many destroyers. From the PTSD of Nickname submarines, which nearly destroy all of the boats here. They would have if not for these red bombers. Great game. Well played both. That's tournament play, folks. That is what you pay to see, baby. Easy had a lot more income for a lot of the game, I guess. Or empire value. I don't know what happened here. It certainly felt a lot closer than the graphs would suggest. But GG. Hope you enjoyed the video, and you know, have a wonderful night, day, evening, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Good luck to everyone who is playing in the tournament, and props to each and every one of you, and thank you for the support. However you do that, liking, commenting, and subscribing. It all helps the channel grow. But again, just thanks for watching the video. Have a good one. Peace.